Welcome back to the Moneyweb Better Investor Conference. We hope you've enjoyed your time with us today. We're into our final session of the day, but it is an exciting session. We are looking at the role of financial advisors and what difference a financial advisor can make in your financial planning, in your financial goals, and in your ability to achieve those financial goals. I'm joined in studio by Thulisile Nkomo, who is from NFB Private Wealth. Thank you so much, Thuli, for taking the time. I guess the starting point for this one is, what is the role of a financial advisor? I mean, today, throughout the day, we've gotten various experts come in and give us tidbits about how important a financial advisor becomes, and you should rely on your financial advisor and that sort of thing. But what is the role of a financial advisor in the life of an individual?
Thank you, Jimmy, for having me here. The role of a financial advisor is to help the client achieve their own individual goals, because I think it's very important that one starts thinking about this as soon as they start earning an income, because that's when the role of a financial advisor comes through. Because let's say, for instance, you just finished varsity and you start working, then you don't know what to do because you've never been exposed to so much money. You don't know what is important. So the role of a financial advisor is to help guide someone that starts working or someone that's owning a business. And if I go back to a person who starts working, first, the things that are important is that we help them in assisting them to understand the importance of saving. Because just because you're earning an income doesn't mean that in 12 months' time you'll still be earning an income. So we assist them in terms of planning around having emergency savings to make sure that the decisions they're making are very informed, in a sense that we educate them about financial planning to just make things that are complicated not less complicated. So our role is to help people reach their financial goals, and then we take them step by step. But that is something that we do with each client. So we help clients achieve their personal financial goals.
So then, as Jimmy, who now needs a financial advisor, what do I look for in a financial advisor? Do I look for certain qualities, certain traits? Obviously, I mean, I think the more relatable and the more identifiable a financial advisor is towards my needs, the easier it becomes to sort of build a relationship with that. But what do I look for when I look for a financial advisor? And with that, are there specific questions I should be asking that financial advisor to find out if they're the right fit for me?
I think very important is to look at the person's experience, qualifications, the scope of the services that they're able to provide. Because when you start working, I think if we go back to our parents, if you say, Mom, I've got 100,000 rands to save, the first thing they'll say is go to the bank. There's someone who's going to assist you. So a financial advisor should be someone that has the qualification, someone you can relate to. If I look at my personal background, people that are my clients are people that I can relate to. I think earlier on you did speak about black tax. Someone that is not exposed to black tax might not understand how important it is for a person to be contributing to their family members. So you look to someone you can relate to, someone who communicates with you in a level that you understand, because finances can be so complicated and you want someone who can communicate at that level. And I think the most important thing is accessibility, because you can have questions at any time of the night, but you want to send an email and then you know that somebody is going to respond. So you want somebody who's got your back all the time and someone who can communicate with you.
How do I identify that person? I mean, where do I start looking for that person, and what sort of screening process, I guess, is what I'm trying to get at, to identify whether the person's going to be a right fit for me? Because something you mentioned around the financial advisor was the financial advisor being relatable to you and identify or recognizing what your needs are and that sort of thing. But now, when I myself might not know the full extent of my needs, I don't necessarily know what questions to ask, right? So what questions do we then ask to the financial advisor so that I know that, okay, Thuli understands where I'm coming from?
I think we live in a very interesting world where information is in abundance. As a result, if you're looking for a financial advisor, you can Google. Moneyweb is also another platform where people go and look for financial advisors. And then from there, from a regulatory point of view, you can also go to the FSCA to confirm if this person that you want to deal with is actually reputable. And I think the best place is us family, because I believe just like a specialist, a doctor who's a specialist, you want to rather get somebody who's already dealt with them, who can actually refer you based on the services that they've provide to them. And then when you have found that person, I think it's very important to screen them, because as much as it's my responsibility to screen a client, it's also their responsibility to screen me to say, is this my person? So I think the first question you ask the person that you found probably on the internet is to ask, are you going to be charging me for this consultation? How do you work on the fees? Because I think we are financial advisors, we provide a service and then we do actually earn a fee. But it's important just to understand if you would be liable for that consultation. Because normally some advisors come on risk and then the fees come later. And then the next important one is, how often will you meet with me? And what is the scope of the services that you offer? Because if we look at certified financial planners who belong to the Financial Planning Institute, one thing about them is they provide a whole scope of financial planning services, which would include your investment planning, retirement planning, tax planning, estate planning, and financial management. So it is important to understand that your whole range of financial planning services would be provided for. And also ask the person, like, have you dealt with someone that is like me, someone with similar situation to mine, and how did you do it? So it's very important to just have that open conversation. And I think the last one is that you also want to deal with someone who's going to make it very easy for you to actually disclose your information, because I don't like to disclose my income and some of my fears. So you want somebody who's gonna make you comfortable that I'm okay with letting them know, and I'm okay with letting them know what my fears are regarding financial planning.
You're right. Financials, financial planning, retirements, all of this is very, very personal, and that level of comfort that you get from a financial advisor is absolutely very important. Something you mentioned earlier, Thuli, around the access to information, right? Now, that's important because we've got a question from Jayashree saying, with the onset of personal finance and investment content and education that we're seeing on social platforms like TikTok and Instagram and the like, and the financial tools that you mentioned that are available online and that sort of thing, basically self-learning is on the rise. People are able to achieve greater than what they were in the past, right? And the question Jayashree has is, will there still be a place for financial advisors in the next 10 to 15 years? Will financial advisors still be relevant given that we have access to so much information? And to add to that, I think from my side, it's if they will still be relevant, under what circumstances, under what situations do you suddenly wake up one morning and say, hey, I need a financial advisor? Have I won the lottery? Do I suddenly have more of a bonus than what I had planned for? So to Jayashree's point is, will financial advisors still be relevant in the future? And under what conditions would one actually go out and look for a financial advisor?
I think that's a very interesting question, and information is in so much abundance, but is that information tailor-made for you? So it's very easy to say, I can do a financial advisor's job. I remember when I started working, I had a financial advisor, and they recommended a whole lot of products, and I did not know what I had. As a result, I don't believe that solution was tailor-made for me. So I think the role of a financial advisor is to help you understand the information. Because let's say, for instance, you start working, and then you want to protect your biggest asset, which is your income. You take out income protection, you take out death cover if you've got family members that you look after. But you need to know that there is a need. So financial advisors would put together a solution for you, because we've got the tools that are able to assess your personal situation and then come up with the plan. So in that instance, you'd say you need so much life cover, and then you need so much income protection. But the thing about people, they think income protection is a protection against retrenchment. So the first thing they do is when they get retrenched, like, I'd like to make a claim. So our job is to explain and custom make solutions that are suitable to our clients. And also those solutions that are on the internet don't take into account your risk profile, your personal fears. And also, we as human beings, we're very guilty because we like to paint a perfect picture. So if you ask me to put my budget, it's going to be very perfect. It'll have a big surplus. So our job is to help you as a person that's looking for services to bring it down to your level and also be accessible. I think so much is going on in the world right now. If you look at how the interest rate is going up and people not able to afford their repayments, they come to us. Those are fears that I might have to sell my house. Can you go to the internet and say, I think I want to sell my house? And then the person can say, this is my recommendation, this is what we can do. So I think our place is, I don't think the internet or the people who are making content on TikTok will actually replace us, because there is a place for us. There is also a place for those financial advisors or for those educational people on the internet. But for us, we are targeting a specific market who have a lot to lose. Because when you look at financial planning, it's not just about taking money and saying, I've got 500 rands, what do I do? There's a lot that goes into it. And we work on taking care of your loved ones. You want to make sure if someone passes away, their loved ones are taken care of. If they're disabled, there's income to take them to retirement. When they retire, like my previous colleague said, you want to make sure there's enough at retirement. So when we look at the current generation, all they look at is here and now and not the future. So what we do is look at now, the future, and what you can put in place to make sure that you achieve those goals. So I don't think we are going anywhere. I think people that know the kind of services we provide are able to come to us and also just come and ask us for our advice in terms of achieving their personal financial goals.
I like that you mentioned that financial advisors have unique tools to assist the financial planning process and to assist and customize solutions for individuals. And the reason for that is because Ross wants to know, how will AI, artificial intelligence that is, assist financial advisors in future in terms of being able to offer better services or better products towards their clients?
I think it's very similar to the previous question, because I think I don't believe that AI is actually an enemy to a financial advisor, because such tools assist us in actually developing solutions much quicker. So such tools are designed to actually assist us to service our clients better, and also for those clients who might not be able to have the means or actually have the access to the financial advisors, that will be accessible to them, and that will assist in actually reaching that gap, because not everybody wants to work with a financial advisor. So I think that AI is good. It will assist us in a sense that it will help us to provide the solutions efficiently. It's not an enemy. So that's what I think about it.
Let's get into a very contentious topic, right, around financial advisors, and that you and I spoke about off air as well, the cost component, right? So a lot of the financial advisory space and a lot of this is, I don't want to do this because it's expensive. I don't believe I need a financial advisor because I'm not going to pay somebody else to draw up a budget for me, and I can do that myself. So how does the cost component of financial advisory, and particularly financial advisors like yourself, how does that cost component factor into the decisions that, one, I make as an individual on which financial advisor I choose, but also on the quality of the financial advisor I get out of it? Is it a situation where I need to pay for quality, or I need to pay more, or get an expensive financial advisor for them to do a better job? Or is it a situation where just there's an industry standard, there's what is a fair price in the market, and there's a couple of guys that might charge a bit more and a bit less, sort of thing?
I think very important is, if you do get a good financial advisors, they will actually explain to you what's fees, what the fees are and what fees you're paying for. And just to touch on fees, I feel that fees are relative in the sense that it can be expensive to one and to the other person. But in terms of the fees, if you look at the clients that we service, it's your doctors, your lawyers, those people are very busy. So if you decide that, you know what, I don't want to pay the fees, I'll do it myself, do you have the time to keep up with what's happening in the world? Do you have the time to keep up with all the legislation that takes place? So if you have all the time to do that, so I believe that the fee that you pay as an investor can actually help you in avoiding future mistakes, because at times, because we are human beings and we're driven by emotions, like when the market fall, the first thing people do, and it's normal, the first thing they do is just sell. And they try to protect themselves. So that's where we come in and say, we have a goal. Please, I'll let you know if there's anything that you should do. So that's where we come in. So we have a lot of value that we bring to the table. It's not just giving you a solution and say, this is where you invest, but we make sure that we help you stick to the plan, because it's not always good. Yeah. It's good when we sign the contract and we say, we're going into this, but when times are bad, a financial advisor would stick with you. And let's say, for instance, you pass away, we make sure that the smooth transition of wealth from one person, the deceased, to the beneficiaries. So those are some of the services and the value add that we bring to the table. And we also help clients to spot their blind spot, because sometimes you know what you know. You think, okay, I just want to invest, that's it, I don't want to pay fees. What about when you're not there? What happens to that money? What about potential tax implication, because you might be investing in a wrong investment vehicle because you've got a higher tax bracket? So we help to make sure that a person makes an informed decision. And unfortunately, we have to get an income for the services that we provide, but sometimes it's not an easy decision. But I believe for those that access the service, they see the value and the quality. So I believe that as a financial advisor, you need to just have a conversation with a client and say, here are my fees. And then also, I think you did touch that it is regulated by the industry. So we are regulated in terms of the fees we can charge. So that also gives people a peace of mind, and it's negotiable. You can negotiate that. So it's not like a set fee to say an advisor fee is so much, you cannot negotiate. So you need to have those conversations. You need to be able to say, I'm happy with that. So it's not a service for everyone.
So the financial advisor is in your corner, is there to help you, and is there to ensure that you achieve your goals. But Kaylin wants to know, what are the evident red flags you need to look out for in an advisor, and when would be the right time to break up with your financial advisor and end the relationship? Because that's what it is. It's a relationship at the end of the day, whether it's for a 6-month period, whether it's for a 6-year period, and whether it's intergenerational as well. It's a relationship. So what are the red flags to look out for? And if you found those red flags in your financial advisor, how do you break up? Because breakups are very awkward conversations.
I think the question is relevant for a lot of people. I think the first red flag is that if you've just signed a contract with a financial advisor and then you send them an email and they don't come back to you. The second one is, with everything that is happening in the markets, you need to be hearing from a financial advisor to say, what is happening? What my thoughts are. So your financial advisor needs to be proactively communicating to you to say, we are aware of what's happening in the market, but everything is under control. It's not something we haven't witnessed in the past. So those are the red flags I would look out for. And I think the other one is no meetings. Like, I think you need to have like an annual meeting at least to meet with the clients, because so much can change in 12 months' time. To make sure that the client still has still the solution that you have is still suitable for the client. So it's very important that you as a client make the decision if you feel that you're not getting that love. And I think for me, it's a very personal thing, in the sense that if your financial advisor, if you say to your financial advisor, I've lost my mom, and they never come back to you, like, oh, sorry, and they never want to get to know you. For me, my job is very personal. I want to get to know the person I'm dealing with. So you want someone who's got best interest at heart, not someone who's just every time they call you, they just want to sell you a product. That is not a financial advisor that you need to be with. So I think the right time would be to say, at that time when you are not feeling that love, that's when you need to say, it's time out. And you can do that by looking for, so when you decide that you want to break up, what you do then is look for a new financial advisor, and then you can look at appointing them to take over your portfolio. So that's how it basically works.
For those of you that have just joined us, I'm chatting to Thulisile Nkomo, who's a financial advisor and wealth manager at NFB Private Wealth, around the importance of choosing the right financial advisor. This is something that my previous guest, Elke Brink, touched on, around the importance of getting the right team behind you. And it's something that Moneyweb's taken very seriously. And to the extent that Moneyweb itself has a team of advisors, Elke and Thulisile are both advisors that are available on Moneyweb's platform called Click an Advisor. You can simply find that on the Moneyweb website at moneyweb.co.za. It is also available on the Moneyweb app. So if you download the app from the Play Store or the App Store, you'll be able to find the Click an Advisor section there, and they're ready to assist, and they're more than happy to give you some financial advice. Tuli, before we wrap things up, I mean, we've looked at the importance of a financial advisor. We've looked at the red flags to look out for within a financial advisor and that sort of thing. Are there, I guess the question is, are there differences between a financial advisor and a wealth manager, a portfolio manager? Is there something that a financial advisor can give you at an advice level that you might not necessarily get from allocating your funds to a asset management company like the Sanlams of the world, or what's traditionally known as the Tide advisors that you mentioned to me? Where do the differences lie there? And in those differences, is a financial advisor better for me or for my personal needs, or is it a case-by-case basis?
I think the difference between a tied agent, so someone who only sells a specific product, to a private wealth manager that is independent, is that a tied agent would only be selling products that they are affiliated with, the brand that they're affiliated to. So even if something might be good from another brand, they cannot deviate from that. So there might be a bit of conflict of interest there. But it doesn't mean it's bad for you, because obviously they will sit down and make sure that they give you the best, but it has to be only their brand. But then when you look at an independent financial advisor or a private wealth manager, is that they actually don't have to work with a specific brand. They look at what is available in the market and then make a decision that is suitable for your personal needs. So that's the difference between the two, but it's not like a bad thing at all.
So having a financial advisor that offers you certain products versus having an independent financial advisor, there's no right or wrong answer for it. It just comes down to the ability to offer you more flexible products and to customize the solution, I guess, for what you're looking for. I guess in closing, my final question to you, Tuli, then becomes the importance of a financial advisor. If you had to sort of put that on a scale of, say, 1 to 10, or even 1 to 100, how important is it to have a financial advisor, to have one as early on as possible in your journey? And how much of a difference does a financial advisor contribute towards your success, or the success of your financial goals in the long term?
I think very important is to understand that a financial advisor's role is to assist you to achieve greater financial benefits in the long run. So our job is to make sure that we actually help you achieve your goals, and then the decisions or the decisions that we made for you or recommend to you are actually objective, in the sense that we take your personal situation, whatever, and we don't judge you. I think that's the most important thing, that we don't judge you. And also we help you save time, because people don't have the time to actually sit and do their own thing. So we help people save time by coming up with solution, making sure that everything is covered from a tax planning point of view. And also, I think the biggest thing is that we save you money, because there are times where people make a lot of mistakes because they're anxious, they're emotional. So our job is to help you manage those emotions, and we'll hold you accountable, because there are times where people, they start with a plan, but then halfway through, they don't want to continue with it. So we help you achieve your personal goal the best way we can.
Before we go, Thuli, you mentioned that financial advisors are all regulated and we can all go to the CFP's site and all of that to find good financial advisors. Are there other resources that we can use when sort of sifting through the pool of great financial advisors that we have in this country? Are there other platforms like the Moneyweb platform that we mentioned that has the Click and Advisor section? Are there other online platforms that you can share with our audience around where to find really good financial advisors?
I think the biggest one would be the individual service providers, because generally they would say this are our preferred financial advisors that we would recommend. So let's say if you go to a certain provider, you'll go to the website and say, I'm looking for a financial advisor, and then they would recommend to say, this are our preferred, and then you can make a selection from there.
Thank you very much, Thuli. That was Thuli Nkomo, who is a private wealth manager at NFB Private Wealth, just taking us through the importance of the right financial advisor and how significant an impact having the correct financial advisor can make on your investments, on your investment strategy, and ultimately on achieving the financial goals that you set out for yourself. That brings us to the end of our show and the end of this session in particular. I trust that you've enjoyed the session. We thank you for having spent the day with us and tuning into the conference. And from our team, until next time, it's goodbye.